are listening or watching Radio Afinju. The time is 10 a.m.
Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfínjú. Lórí WhatsApp. Àfínjú. Instagram. Àfínjú. Facebook. Àfínjú. Lórí X. Àfínjú. Lórí YouTube. Àfínjú. Lórí TikTok. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú.
Here on Doc on Radio, we are shining a light on why your well-being should always come first. From everyday health tips to deep medical insight, from nutrition to fitness, from top doctors to latest medical research, we've got it all. Bringing you expert advice, answering your burning questions, and helping you live a healthier and happier life. How cool is that? Join Pearl Durotoye
every Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
only on Radio Afinju for Doc on Radio. Watch us live and follow Radio Afinju on Facebook and YouTube so you don't miss out. Because your health matters and great health is something you deserve.
Good morning. I hope you're having a great morning so far. I hope you're well, both in your mind and in your body. I welcome you to this morning's edition of Doc on Radio Wellness Made Easy, where we'll bring you practical solutions to everyday health challenges. This is your very own radio clinic brought to you by Radio Afinju, the station with an impeccable dimension to broadcasting. Here we share wellness tips, we discuss health issues, and also feature guests from different medical disciplines to come and share from their wealth of knowledge. But that's not all. We also feature news, health stories from relevant agencies, all to keep you updated and all to keep you informed about your health and well-being. I welcome you this morning, and I hope that by the end of today's program, you will have learnt an additional skill or information to improve your overall well-being. My name is Pearl Durotoye. Quickly, if you're not already following Radio Afinju on social media, you can join the conversation on our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, X, all at Radio Afinju. Or if you prefer to just join in and listen to the audio stream instead, you can go to our website at www.afinjufm.com or go to Zeno Radio or radio.garden, search for Afinju, and you will find us there and hear us crystal clear. I will be talking this morning about a very important issue. You know, when it comes to health, every single topic is important because you never know which one you need at that point, and also because even if it does not pertain to you, there might be people around you who are suffering from whatever health concern or health discussions that we are having, and the information you get from here, the information you gather from the show, will be what they need at that point to help them. And also because we are very particular about preventive health. They say prevention is better than cure. Yes, it is better for you to prevent that thing from happening before you start running helter-skelter after it has happened. So what I'm discussing today on the show is a very, very important health topic. But before I go into the topic for this morning, I have some health news to share, health updates from NDLEA to share with us this morning. And this is called out from the ndlea.gov.ng. That's the official website of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and this was posted on 28 October. That was yesterday, so it is important that I share this with the general public. So this news story says drug parties are illegal. NDLEA warns club owners and fund seekers. I'll take that again. Drug parties are illegal. NDLEA warns club owners and fund seekers. Let's see what the story says. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has warned nightclub operators and fund seekers about the creeping culture of organizing, hosting and attending drug parties, a disturbing fad within social circles which is a blatant illegality under the Nigerian law. The agency's warning comes on the heels of a raid carried out by its operatives at a drug party which held on the night of Saturday 25th October into the early hours of Sunday 26th October 2025 at Proxy nightclub located at 7 Akin Adeshola Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, where over 100 attendees were arrested along with the owner of the facility, Mike Eze Nwogo, alias Pretty Mike, and his manager, Joaquin Milari. According to the agency, I quote, "Any gathering organized for the purpose of consuming, distributing, or abusing illicit substances is an act of criminality. These drug parties contravene the explicit provisions of the NDLEA Act and will be treated as serious narcotic offenses." In the case of the drug party of Proxy nightclub, organizers went above board and had the audacity to produce and circulate flyers inviting fund seekers to come together to commit crime, an act that not only constitutes an incitement to commit crime, but equally an affront to the law enforcement capabilities of the country if condoned. It further said Nigeria is currently grappling with a very high prevalence rate of drug abuse, particularly among the youths. And these illicit drug parties do not only fuel the drug scourge, but equally serves as hubs for new recruitment into drug addiction and actively undermine our current national efforts to safeguard public health and security. The story continues. It says in the recent case, the NDLEA was meticulous and professional throughout the processes leading to the raid and during the operation following intelligence on the party. There's still more details on this, and then it further says that while the agency will intensify surveillance and apply the full force of the law against perpetrators, owners of properties, hotels and event centers found to be knowingly hosting such illegal activities risk the confiscation and forfeiture of their assets to the federal government, and those held in custody in the ongoing case will face prosecution, while we will file for forfeiture of the property Proxy nightclub in which the drugs were found. And finally, the news article says the agency urges all patriotic Nigerians, parents, religious and community leaders, as well as concerned citizens to be vigilant, report such activities, and partner with the NDLEA in combating this threat to national well-being. This is directly from the Director, Media and Advocacy, NDLEA Headquarters, Abuja, Femi Baba Femi. So this was released yesterday, and as at yesterday, 384,882 kilograms of Canadian loud, which is a strong strain of cannabis and other substances, were seized from the club's store. A drug party. I think it was a couple of months ago I discussed drug use, drug misuse and drug abuse on the show, and I also highlighted some of the dangers of these practices, and yet still, I'm going to quote the NDLE of it, some people had the audacity to organize a drug party and even still print flyers. So not alone are you endangering your health, it is a criminal offense because you can get arrested for consuming illegal drugs, for abusing drugs. You can get arrested. So it's two things now. You're endangering your health. You stand at a risk of getting addicted to these drugs, in which your body starts to be totally dependent on them and you cannot function without the use of these drugs. And secondly, you also stand a risk of going to jail by abusing drugs. So that's the news update and the news story as curled from the NDLEA website. And that's what I brought to you this morning on the show. And this will bring me to the topic of the morning. What am I discussing for this morning? I'll go on a very quick break, and when I come back, I will introduce this morning's topic to you rather. Don't go anywhere. Doc on Radio is still on. Welcome you back to Doc on Radio, Wellness Made Easy on your darling radio station, Radio Afinju. Now until the topic for discussion for this morning. What will I be talking about? I want to talk about addiction. Like I mentioned earlier, a couple of months back, I discussed drug use, drug misuse, drug abuse. Now, while some aspects of that discussion also borders on addiction, but today I want to focus on addiction as a topic on its own, because not only is drug abuse a form of not only can drug abuse be a form of addiction, there are also other parts of addiction that are not based off of drugs or substance use. And that's why it is important to highlight these things, because even sometimes you do not know that you are addicted to something until somebody points it out to you. And for a lot of people or a lot of addicts, they don't even know that they are addicted. They see it as a normal action. They see it as a normal way of life, right? They see these actions, these things that they indulge in as a normal way of being. They do not see it as them being addicted to it. So it is pertinent that it is highlighted. And that is why this show is important, because not only do we focus on the physical health, your body, your legs, your neck, your mental health is also very, very important, because it is a part of what drives you. And not only is it even mental, it's also physical, because addiction deals a lot with your brain, which is a physical part of your body as well. So they are both intertwined. So let's talk about addiction. What is addiction? And one thing you do not know is that it is a lifelong condition. It's a chronic condition, rather. It is something that stays with you almost for the rest of your life. So it is a lifelong condition that makes you to carry out compulsively seeking out either substance or a particular activity or a particular item, despite the negative impacts that this activity has on your body, has on your health. Despite the harmful consequences, you are still seeking it out. You are still reaching out to it. You still want it, despite the negative consequences. Now, these consequences may be visible to you. That's the thing. You may be seeing the damage it is doing, but you don't care. Because the pleasure that you get from seeking that thing in that moment, it overrides your cognitive ability. Like, it overrides logic. You cannot falter it. You just want to have that moment of pleasure, of high. So addiction is not just about drug use. It is anything that you do, any compulsive action that you do that you indulge in, that you engage in, despite how negative it is, despite the negative repercussion of carrying out that activity. And why is it important, or why is it necessary to talk about it? Because there are so many ways addiction can affect us or affect you. There are so many ways addiction can affect you. It can affect your health, it can affect your relationship, it can affect your work, it can affect your overall quality of life, such that you're not optimizing your individuality the way that you should. The things you are good at, the things you love to do, the things you enjoy, you are not able to do them. Why? Because something else is taking the place of that thing in your life. And it can be anything at this point. Addiction, you can be addicted to almost anything, and we're going to get into that in a while. So it is very, very important that you know addiction for what it is, so that you can be able to seek the necessary and important health. Because it is in knowing what the problem is that you can solve it. If you cannot first identify the problem, then you cannot know what to even provide solution to. Right? And according to the American Society of Addiction Medicine, addiction, they define addiction as a chronic brain disorder. Chronic brain disorder. In fact, they said that addiction does not happen as a result of a lack of willpower or as a result of making bad decisions. Sometimes it can be as a result of bad decisions that you just thought to let me just see how this thing, let me see how it is, let me see what it feels like. Or it might just be you living a normal life and then doing things not knowing that you're already addicted to that thing that you are doing. But with time, the more you keep seeking that thing out, the more your brain wants it. Because in seeking that particular thing, your body is releasing a feel good hormones, the dopamine, the feel good hormones. They are coming out. You like it, you enjoy it, it makes you so happy, and so your brain starts to be dependent on that activity before you can perform, before you can even do any other thing, before you can survive. Right? But the thing is that there is a little thin line between drug misuse and addiction. Not everybody. I think when I discussed drug use, misuse, and abuse, I differentiated drug misuse, drug abuse, and drug use. They are three. Yes, they sound alike and they might seem like the same thing, but they are very, very different. And I would encourage you to go and watch that particular episode. You find it on our Facebook page, or on our YouTube, especially on our YouTube page. Drug use, misuse, and abuse, where I differentiated these three, because sometimes drug misuse may not be addiction, right? It's just you misusing drug. Does not necessarily mean you're addicted to it, but that's by the way. So what are the types of addiction that we have? What are the types of addiction? Remember I said that addiction does not only have to do with drugs. There are various forms of addiction, but it is mostly categorized into two types. Addiction is categorized into two. We have the substance abuse, which is what we already know. Substance abuse, substance can be alcohol, it can be hard drugs, it can be stimulants, it can be inhalants, it can be all kinds of things. It can be cannabis, what we call weed, igbo. It can be that. It can be hypnotics. It can be your phone, your social media. Yes. That falls under non-substance abuse. But substance abuse has to do with the things that you use in your body, the things you eat, the things you inhale. So drugs fall under that. Caffeine, inhalants, opioids, and all of that. Alcohol also falls under substance abuse. So that's a type of substance abuse. Tobacco as well, cigarettes, nicotine. It all falls under substance addiction rather. And so the other part of addiction that we have the non-substance addiction. Non-substance addiction, and this can fall under other activities such as we have gambling, eating. Yes, there is such thing as a eating addiction. I'm sure you must have heard of eating disorders before. Yes. Eating disorders. There are some people that they cannot do without eating. Even when I have encountered somebody that even when he is filled, Pé téèyàn bá ti jẹun, téèyàn yó, èèyàn máa mọ̀, èèyàn dẹ̀ máa stop. When you're eating rather, or when you eat and you're filled up, you can say, oh, I'm done. I don't want to eat anymore. I'm okay. But this person does not know when to stop. Anything you bring, he will eat it. It got so bad. There was a day he ate so much and he started to throw up. That was when I knew there was a problem. Because why are you eating that? You are filled up already. It is evident. Why? But this person cannot stop. Food gives them so much pleasure that even when they don't need it at that time, they find themselves, they keep taking it because of the pleasure it gives. Because of the pleasure that it gives. And the thing with all these things is that it can affect your life so much. It can affect daily functions. It can interfere into other activities that you have to do in a day. Such that if you don't see food, there are some people, if they've not eaten 10 times in a day, they can't walk, they can't do anything. There are people like that. And that's why addiction, they can't focus on anything else. They're always thinking about it. And then I mentioned phones, cell phones. There are people addicted to cell phones. When you find yourself scrolling mindlessly, and it's not like you're particularly even doing any particular thing on the phone. No. It's not like they are working on the phone. No. They are just scrolling, doom scrolling. You are not sleeping. 12 a.m. you are up. 1 a.m. you are up. 3 a.m. you are up. 4 a.m. you are up on your phone every single day. When you wake up in the morning, that's the first thing you do before you go to bed. Some of you are pressing phone. You are sleepy, but you cannot drop that phone. That phone will be in your hand. It will fall down. And then you wake up again and you pick up. You will still pick up that phone when you wake up. That's an addiction. You just don't know it. If you can be feeling sleepy and you know you are feeling sleepy, you know you are sleepy, but because you are with your phone, you don't want to leave it. I don't know if it's a fear of missing out that affects a lot of people. You don't want to leave that phone, so you are sleeping, you're already sleeping, you are pressing the phone drops, you wake up, you press again, it drops, and that's the routine every day. It is going to impact your life because, see, you are already infringing on the time you are meant to rest. You're meant to heal. Your body is meant to heal and recuperate from the daily activity, from all the day's work. But no, you're not resting. And then when you're not able to get proper sleep during the night, you wake up the next day, you want to go to work, but you cannot focus. Why? Because your brain has not rested. Your body has not rested. You are feeling sleepy at work. You cannot function. Or you might even be walking and then you are pressing your phone. You are cooking, you are pressing your phone. You go to the toilet, you are pressing your phone. You are bathing. There are some people, as they are bathing, they are still pressing their phone. Everything you're doing, you find yourself pressing your phone. That is an addiction. And I know why I'm emphasizing on this phone use, because a lot of people are even guilty, very, very guilty of it. A lot of people, both young and old, they are guilty of this type of addiction. But you don't know it is addiction. It is. There are people that are addicted to sex. They cannot do without it. Morning, afternoon, night. Every moment. They always want to have sex. They cannot function if they've not had sex. That's an addiction and you need help. It can be pornography. Every little thing. Once you grab your phone like this, that's the first thing you do. That's the first thing you watch. Anytime you find yourself alone, that's the first thing you do on your phone. It can also be other vices. It can be playing video games on your phone. It can be shopping. You love shopping. Every little change you have, you are gone. Or you've gone to social media, all these online platforms, you are shopping. So addiction can be anything. It can also be in form of you are watching your weight. Oh, you don't want to lose, you don't want to gain weight, and so you are dieting, you are cutting down on depriving your body of the nutrients that it needs to function efficiently, to function properly, and so you do not eat. You do not eat a balanced diet. You do not eat properly. Or maybe you're obsessed with how you look. You're obsessed with your body. You're obsessed with gaining muscles, working out. And then you find yourself morning, afternoon, night, you are in the gym. Morning, afternoon, night, you are working out. Oh, you want to have so and so muscles. And it is all of this that still leads to people using steroids. Why? Because you're obsessed with looking a certain way. And so you're addicted to the gym. If you've not been to the gym, you cannot do any other thing. Now, while some of the things I've listed here are not inherently bad, but balance is key. In anything you do, in anything you find yourself doing, having sex is fine, eating is good, right? Shopping, nothing bad in that. Working out, exercising is very good. But balance is the most important thing. Another form of non-substance addiction I'll talk about is gambling. That one is, in fact, that one can completely ruin your life. It can completely ruin your life. And that's why you see somebody using maybe the money they are meant to use to start a business, or money their parents gave them for school fees. You see them, they've gone to gamble with it. 1 sure odd, 2 sure odds. Maybe today is my lucky day. Maybe one astrologer has told them today is your lucky day. The stars are aligned in your favor. And so when they've given them the money to go and put in the bank or to do this, you are not thinking, maybe today is that time that I'm eventually going to win. Let me play this one to win this one. 2 point over, one thing. And then you go, you put all the money in there. And then you lose. But you don't stop there. That's the thing with gambling. Now you lost that money, you're already in trouble, but you don't stop. You then call your friend. I beg. You get 1 2 sure odd where person just give me now. No worry, you go enter. You start to borrow money, and then that one happens. They give you the money. You play another one again. You lose. You are in another debt too. But you still don't stop. They give you money for food, use it to play bets. They give you money for clothes, use it to play bets. Money to do important things, use it to play bets. Your business money, use it to play bets. You collect your salary, use it to play bets. Still, you're not winning. And maybe by stroke of luck, you win you win in one instance, and you begin to think, maybe I'm lucky after all. And then when you win, maybe you play 200 naira, you win 1 million, or you win 100,000, and then you start to think, maybe today is my lucky day. If I play this 100,000, maybe I'm going to win 5 million. And then you play, and then you lose again. But still, you do not stop. Compulsion. You keep doing that thing despite the dangers. Despite the downsides of it, you cannot stop yourself. Addiction is very, very, very bad. It can completely reduce the quality of your life. But this will now bring me to what are the signs. I know I've already mentioned compulsion, your inability to stop and everything, but what are the signs that you will see and know that, okay, I think it's time I tell myself the truth? What are the signs that you start to exhibit? What are the symptoms that you start to exhibit in your life? And then you know that, problem siwa. Now the thing is, it might not even be you. It might be someone around you. It might be somebody you know, somebody you're living with, or somebody who is your friend. How do you know that this person needs help? I need to step in. How do you know that, okay, there's something I need to do to help this person so that they don't go lower into the abyss and end up in destruction? Because whether you like it or not, there is a chance that addiction leads to fatalities. It can lead to death, because there is a certain quality that your life will drop into. Especially, let's use gambling now, for instance. People who gamble all the time, by the time they've exhausted all options, they've spent all their money with no hopes of getting it back, no business, no job, even their relationship has been affected. Your wife has left you, has taken the children away from you. Why? Because you can no longer function, you can no longer provide, and because you don't even spend time at home anymore. You spend time now at the betting shop. And so when you've lost everything, you start to think, what's the next thing? You start to think there's nothing else for you. And then the next thing that comes to your mind is how you can take your life. That's how bad it can get. But even aside of that, there are other, like the phone issue now that I mentioned. By the time you don't get enough sleep, it starts to tell on your body. It starts to tell on your body. You don't get enough sleep, your body can't function, you're always tired, always yawning, always sleepy, always tired, always exhausted, you can't function properly. Before you know it, you're not putting in your KPIs at work, you're not delivering on your deliverables. And then they tell you, you know what? We think you can no longer function properly in this company. Thank you so much for your service, but we have to let you go. And then you lose your job. Addiction. So what are the telltale signs? We'll talk about that when I come back after this break. Don't forget, it's still Doc on Radio on Wellness. On Radio Afinju. Don't go anywhere.
For the best music,
show me capital business, show me character dickiness, show.
Season
sport presentation.
Round 10 begins. If they complete this round.
Balanced and objective news reportage and all-round entertainment. Listen to the jewel of the pack of radios in this class.
Tune in
to Radio Afinju right here in Oshobo, Osun State.
Champions League knockout of all time.
Ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ eré ìdárayá ẹ̀yin dà. Ó ti yá láti gbẹnu sí ètò tí yóò máa gbóná rìtìrìtì yeruku lálàlàlá lórí pápá àfínjú. Ìròyìn wo lẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ nípa eré ìdárayá? Ṣé ti bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá ni? Aláfọwọ́jù sínú apẹ̀rẹ̀, ẹ̀yìn orí ìkànkéré tàbí ti tábìlì, ẹ̀kẹ́ òmùwẹ̀ tàbí tàwọn abẹ̀sẹ̀ ya máàpù sójú ẹni. Má dààmú jìnnà wá ganu ti Mosúnmọ́lá ọmọ Adégbèrò Big Mo. Níbi tí yóò ti máa wà yín sí rìn gbé yín débẹ̀ já yín sí ìmọ̀ tó ń lọ lágbolé eré ìdárayá lórí ètò pápá àfínjú ni ní gbogbo ìyálẹ̀ta aago 11 sáago 12 ọ̀sán gbẹ̀rẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ lórí ìkànnì rédíò àfínjú àyà kàtàkàtà. Big Mo ti wọlé dé gìjà. Big Mo àti ikọ̀ àwọn àyànnà eré ìdárayá lèmi yóò ganu sí lórí ìkànnì rédíò àfínjú. Ẹ má lọ gọ̀ọ́ pápá àfínjú ni.
For an ultimate entertainment experience. An all-round gist with your spicy honey drops. Don't miss the fun, excitement, and updates on Afinju Arena. Only on Radio Afinju.
Apology for waiting, say don't play, or you will learn.
Na my hustle be this. Na here I dey see my daily urgent 2k o. Ìhàyín ni mo ti ń rí ẹgbẹ̀rún méjì náírà pàjáwìrì tèmi lójoojúmọ́. On this program, we will bring people from different business backgrounds to come tell their stories and share insights with us. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́, oníṣòwò, ẹ gbáradì. Ètò ti kàn yín ní rédíò Àfínjú. Bó o lẹ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀? Kí ni àwọn tójú yín rí? Kí lẹ̀ ń tà gangan? Bó o lẹ sì ti ń tà? My hustle will give you a direct insight into the business world. Join Aderonke Lawal, Ayoka Ọmọ Àkànmú on my hustle every Wednesday 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Radio Afinju to have your minds blown. Ẹ lè tẹ̀lé wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì abánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ wa pátápátá ní Radio Afinju. My hustle, my urgent 2k.
For inspiring stories, real talk, from health and wellness to career and relationship, we explore it all. Meet your host, the Radio Gem, and other women on Women Corner every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m., where sisterhood meets support. It promises to elevate your mind, and most importantly, it's gonna be fun. Follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, all at Radio Afinju. Keep a date with us on Women Corner every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m.
on Radio Afinju.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining, this is Doc on Radio, Wellness Made Easy. On Radio Afinjo, where we're bringing you practical health solutions to everyday health challenges. And this morning, I've been talking about addiction. Addiction, yes, and I mentioned that addiction is categorized into two. There is a substance addiction and a non-substance addiction, and I mentioned the substance addiction examples to be alcohol, caffeine, cigarettes, hallucinogens, etc, etc. And then the non-substance addiction, we have gambling, we have eating, we have shopping, we have sex, we have pornography, we even have internet. So there are different kinds. So right about now, let's talk about signs of addiction. What are the tell signs. How do you know that you are addicted or someone you know is addicted to something or a particular vice? I'll say a quick hello to Abiola Boluwatife on Facebook, sending his love. Good morning, Abiola. Thank you for joining the show this morning. So what are some telltale signs of addiction? How can you tell a person is addicted to something? Like I mentioned, the very evident sign is compulsive behaviors, right? Compulsive behavior, inability to stop. You want to stop, but you cannot. You want to stop always pressing your phone. You want to focus on doing other things, but you cannot. You cannot just afford to. If you leave your phone for 1 second, it's almost as if you want to die. It's almost as if you're going to lose your life. It's almost like you cannot breathe. Then that is a sign that you need to seek professional help. You may also lie to people about it. You lie about what you are facing. Somebody who is addicted to gambling, they will lie to get money from their loved ones. They will call their friend and say, "Oh, I beg, I need urgent 5K. I want to buy medicine. My pikin nowhere, or they feel 1K. I want to go hospital." Meanwhile, they want to use that money to gamble. If you find yourself doing these things, then there is a problem. The issue now is that, will you be self-aware enough to actually sit down and think that, okay, this thing I just did now, does it make sense? I think that's where the problem even lies, because sometimes you might be doing all these things, but you don't even know it. But just sit down one day and just think on your actions. That, okay, this thing that I just did now, is it making sense to me? So if you know somebody that you know that this person will tell you they want to use money for something, and then you see them using the money for something else, using the money to go and play games, or using the money to go and buy substance that they want to abuse, then that person needs help, and that's a sign of addiction. Another thing is that increased tolerance. I think this is more particular to substance abuse. Increased tolerance. See, the thing with abusing drugs is that it gets to a point that your body gets so used to it that the quantity you started with that would usually get you euphoric, it doesn't even do it anymore. Maybe before you used to take so and so grams, maybe you used to take 1 gram, and it will get you so high, you start to feel so good. It gets to a point your body becomes more tolerant to it, so much so that if you take 1 gram, it doesn't take you anywhere anymore. And that's why you see people, one person will be smoking a pack of cigarettes, a whole pack that contains about maybe a dozen sticks. They will consume it at a stretch, and they will still not feel anything. There's some people that they'll tell you, ọtí kan ò kí ń pa mí, èmi ọtí kan ò lè pa mí o. I gbọ́dọ̀ mu bí bottles or márùn. I must take 5 bottles of alcohol before I feel anything. There are people like that. Me, I've heard. In fact, I've seen. They'll tell you, no, 1 bottle cannot do anything. Give me 10. A crate. They will drink a whole crate of alcohol before they feel anything. Tolerance. And you know what excessive consumption of alcohol can do for you? Do you know? Your liver. You are damaging your liver. How do you know you are addicted? Lack of control. So let's say you can even sit down and tell yourself the truth that, this thing I'm doing, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to watch pornography anymore. I don't want to be having sex that much anymore. I want to focus on other more profitable ventures. But even when you want to, you cannot. Your body yearns for it. Your body longs for it. You can't stop. Lack of control. You find yourself digging your hands into dirty things. You find yourself stealing just so you can afford money for substance. You find yourself stealing just so you can afford money to go and play games, to go and play video games outside. And when you can't even get it, you start to feel sad. You start to feel depressed. Then there is a problem. There is a problem. How do you know you are addicted? when your health starts to tell you. Your body will tell you. Your relationship with people will tell you. If you're married or you're in a relationship, and then you realize that you don't even make out time again for your family or for your loved ones. I use the instance of a married person that I mentioned earlier. Because of gambling, you don't even have money to provide for your children anymore. You don't even go home anymore. After work, you are going straight to the gambling office or the gambling shop. And then you come back late in the night, your family cannot spend time with you. And then before you know it, there is a distance between you and your partner. Or maybe you are addicted to pornography. And before you know it, it starts to affect intimacy with your partner. Because after you are done watching pornography and you have pleasured yourself, what else is there to look forward to? You don't look forward to intimacy anymore with your wife or with your husband. And then before you know it, your husband is seeking help. Your wife is seeking help outside. Why? Because there is no connection between you and your partner anymore. So outside personal relationship, your health, your overall health, your mental health, your career, your job. And despite seeing and knowing the effect of all these things, you still cannot stop. You still what? You cannot stop. You can't bring yourself to stop. You know it is bad. You know it is harmful. You know it is damaging your life, but you cannot stop. Why? Because your brain has been wired to always seek reward. You know, we as humans, we are wired to always want reward, seek pleasures from certain things, right? And that's why you like to hang out with friends and family. You like to go out for picnic. Why? Because these are pleasurable experiences, you know. But these are pleasurable experiences that are healthy, because hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, spending time with family, it helps to boost human relationships, right? And human relationship is essential. But then when these pleasures that you should get from normal human interactions, from spending time with family, from spending time with friends, when these pleasures are gotten from drugs, gotten from video games instead, then there is a problem. Because now you're no longer interacting with your family, your partner, your children. You're now focusing morning, afternoon, night. You're in your room playing video games, or you're on your phone. You're not having human to human connections or human to human conversations. You're on your phone laughing morning, afternoon, night. You're laughing and on social media. You're not even eating. You don't even cook. You don't make out time to cook, spend time in the kitchen, or even do other things you should do. You can't focus on work. So it can have an effect on your relationship, on your health, especially when it comes to substance abuse, drug abuse, drug addiction rather. Let me say substance addiction, because it's not just drugs. There's alcohol and others I mentioned. So it can also affect your health, affect your brain, because these are things that you need to spend. It can affect your finances even. In fact, it will affect your finances, because a lot of these things are things you need to spend money to buy. If you're someone that presses your phone every moment, you're always on social media, you need money to buy data. So even if you have not eaten and you have a last card, maybe that last card is 1,000 naira, you don't mind using that 1,000 naira to buy data so that you can continue online. Meanwhile, you're starving, you're hungry, you've not eaten. For 2 days, you've not eaten, but see that data money, you must buy it. And also sometimes when I see, anyway, let me know. I don't want to say this thing so it doesn't look like I am judging. But when your finances are severely affected, you're spending money gambling, you're spending money hiring people to sleep with, then there is a problem. Spending money on drugs, on alcohol. You don't mind spending up until your last card. You're not motivated to do things to survive. You're not motivated to go to work. You're not motivated to spend time with your loved ones. It can have devastating effects on your thoughts, on your behavior, and even on how you feel. Because by the time that initial euphoria is gone, you start to feel depressed. You start to have all sorts of feeling. So it leads to unhealthy drive to seeking pleasure on things that are not healthy. You'll be moved to seek pleasure from things that are of no good to you. So when you see somebody exhibiting these symptoms, or if you find yourself exhibiting any of these symptoms, then you should know that it is time to seek professional help. Although there are other factors that can also contribute to you developing addiction. There is also the genetics factor, which statistics have shown that it's possible that if any member of your family or your immediate family is addicted to a particular vice, there's also a risk factor that you as well will develop one, right? So that one is also there. So knowing this, if you have a family member that is addicted to anything, you should know that you should even be more wary, because you are susceptible to also getting addicted. Or maybe you have a mental health condition. If you have a mental health condition, it is also possible for you to fall into other forms of abuse. So whether you like it or not, you still need to seek professional help. And also, there are also other environmental factors that can lead to developing abuse or addiction, or any form of addiction. There is the peer pressure which is very popular. You go to school, you want to do what everybody is doing, both in primary, secondary, or even tertiary institutions. Maybe you are hanging out with friends, everybody is smoking something, they are abusing, injecting themselves with all sorts, and you don't want to be left behind. So they don't call you JJC, they don't call you white chicken, abusing white fowl, they call themselves. You do not want them to call you names, and so you find yourself indulging in all these things. Or maybe somebody told you that they played so and so odd and they want so and so money, and is that money they're using to flex, and you too now, you take your money and then you also go and put it inside, use it and gamble. There are also childhood traumas that can also lead to addiction. Yes, there are childhood traumas, stressful and traumatic events that you experienced as a child. This can also lead you to seek comfort in some sort of addiction. So when you see all these things, all these factors that exposes you to developing a form of addiction, then it is time for you to seek professional help. So when you go to the hospital, you request to see a doctor, you tell them what you are facing. There are different kinds of doctors for different kinds of diagnosis. So at least see one doctor first. Tell them what you're facing. They will be the one to refer you that, okay, what you're facing, it has to do with psychology. See, you need to see a psychiatrist, or you need to see a drug counselor, or you need to do this, because they practice on specific kinds of health concerns. So while your general doctor may not be able to help you at that moment, or may only be able to help you in some parts of that addiction, there are other medical personnel that are specialists in that particular kind of addiction that you are facing. It might be therapy that you need, right? Therapy to improve your behavioral traits. Maybe there are some things you cannot stop doing, and there's some therapy that will help you to gradually get out of it. Because the thing with addiction is that this is not something you can just stop in one day. I've talked about it when I discussed drug use, misuse, and abuse. Even when you want to stop drug addiction, you don't just stop in one day. It's a gradual process, and there are systematic ways to do it. You don't just wake up. Imagine you that used to consume 10 sticks of cigarette in one night, and then you just wake up today and say, you know what, today I'm not going to. It's going to be very hard. Trust me, every journey to freeing yourself from addiction is going to be hard. But the idea is that it is a gradual process. Gradually, you make your body less dependent on that thing. So it is not something that you do suddenly. Not like it's not possible, but it is more difficult to stop suddenly, but gradually. And that is why health professionals are there to help you, because they are learned, they have practiced, they know what works, and so they know exactly what to do to help you. So when you go to the hospital, they can tell you, okay, maybe you need to be monitored, maybe you need to go for therapy, maybe you need medications to help you manage your symptoms better, or maybe you need rehab, close monitoring, right? And also support from friends. Maybe you just need to be in the midst of people who are also battling with the same kind of addiction, you need them to help you. Or maybe you need people who have been there before, they've done that, they know what it feels like, right? And also support group, having a good support group, having friends, having families that are willing to help you, that are going to help you manage the condition, and not people that will even make it worse for you, such that whenever you are even within families, when you are even seeking those pleasures the more. And overall, lastly, I want you to be patient on yourself. Whatever form of addiction that you're going through, be patient, right? It's a gradual process, one step at a time. And for people who know or who have friends, family dealing with one addiction or the other, be patient with them, be understanding, try to help them in the little ways that you can. And I hope that whatever it is that you're going through, it's only a matter of time, but eventually you will get out of it. And that will be the end of the show.